Oh, cool. Hello, friends. I don't know if people can hear me.
People can hear you.
Hooray! How's it going, everybody? My name's CorundumCore, and this is FIA. So, I ran FIA All Abilities, which is kind of close to a 100% category at last year's Speedrun Ragnarok. Today, we're going to do the exact opposite and break the game completely with any percent.
So no abilities?
Yes, actually. We're not going to grab a single ability except for the default one. It's fantastic.
Seems like the category needs a rename.
Oh man, we've done so many renames. I'm just going to make sure that we've got that timer working. Excellent. All right. So, not starting the timer yet because we're actually going to start that on first input. So, let me talk a little bit about FIA really quick. FIA is an atmospheric platformer made by Swedish developer Zoink Games in February of 2018. The whole theme of the game, when you play through it normally, is interacting with the world around you through song. We're going to do a little bit of that, but mostly we're just going to ignore it to do things fast. And speaking of which, we need to make our camera speed the fastest. That can't be done outside of a file, which is why we start on first input, so that we don't have to try and have good camera speed menuing at the beginning of the game, because that would be silly. All right, and we're just about to start. So, with the any percent category, our main goal is to collect these little crystals over here. Let's see if I can get this first jump here. Already we're trying to break the physics engine a little bit by doing a slide along this wall, which can be a little finicky, and it looks like today it's deciding to be super finicky. There we go. Ah, no! Come on. Got this in practice first try, and now that I'm on the big screen, I can't do it. That's okay. See, this is why I like some of the other categories, because you don't have to do this jump. You just have to do the really annoying jump. So that's our first crystal that we need to collect. We're going to collect 30 of those, and then get an ability that should not be accessible until post-game, because it breaks everything. So this next jump is legitimately the hardest jump in the game. And I got it first try. The previous jump is inconsistent, but pretty easy to get set up. That jump, when we first discovered it, took me 10 hours to get once. And now it's muscle memory. So I should mention that obviously, because these crystals that we're getting are a little bit difficult, that none of these are intended for us to get just yet. There we go. And here's our first opportunity to do some of that singing that I was talking about. So we're actually going to match pitch with this forest keeper or singing flower. And we became best buddies because we sang together, and now it's going to raise these platforms for us. Give me your best awoos in chat.
Oh, whoa! Does the offer of $3.50 and a woo still stand from last year?
Absolutely.
All right,
So,
$3.50 donation. Corundum will a woo. $7 will both a woo.
all right, so this jump that I'm trying to do right here is called Baby Deer Skip. You might have seen the small baby deer earlier. So we're having to do some platforming off of this tree. It's more difficult than it looks because this tree is always slightly moving, which means that the polygons that we're trying to stand on, which don't line up one to one, it's one of the few places where the polygons that you see on screen don't line up with what the actual collision is, which makes these jumps really difficult. The beginning of this run is very, very reset heavy, but we got through the really reset heavy part right here. Jumped over that cutscene trigger so we didn't stop moving. And so let's see, we're at about 320 right here. I would be looking for about a 210 if I was doing world record attempts, but that's okay.
Also, Sil, if you're listening, check Discord. Don't mind that, everyone else.
Oh, should I take a bit of a pause?
No, you don't have to stop.
All right,
Um, just shove that crystal into the tree's eye.
all right. Yeah, it's like a eye mouth thing. Now we learned how to climb trees. We didn't know how to do that before. See, now we would be able to go back and collect all of those crystals that we just grabbed, but that's slow. We can just grab them on the way here. So we're going to have to come back to this center area 2 more times, one much sooner than the other. And we're going to collect 2 more crystals and then go on to what is supposed to be the first like story area, but we're just going to ignore all the story because in this run, story does not matter, crystals do. Gonna do a slightly precarious jump right here. None of this is intended. You can actually spam the grab, which we're going to be using a little bit later, in order to get yourself off of seams between polygons, which is super useful for these kind of jank jumps. This is weird. Oh man, I thought it was going to let us get up there. This wastes a little bit of time since we fell, but that's also a little bit of an inconsistent jump. So the reason why all of these things that aren't intended by the developers are possible is, as you can see, this game is very stylized, everything is very geometric, and for the most part, what you see is what you get with collision. So any of these triangles that you see in the world are the actual triangles of collision, and not everything is coded as a slide slope. That you're not supposed to stand on. So sometimes there's just things that you can stand on that they didn't intend for us to stand on, which obviously we abuse to high heaven.
So, just as an aside, we have gotten our first awoo request from Leggy Starscream. It's
Oh,
$7, so we have to awoo together.
all right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, woo!
Awoo!
Thank you so much for your generous donation.
Thanks,
Take this
Leggy.
as a fantastic organization. All right, so now we have the glide ability, which is super important for every single category, uh, for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, gliding allows us to increase our horizontal distance on jumps, but also because it gives us a slight speed boost whenever we start a glide. So you're going to see me doing little mini glides along the ground, and you're going to hear me tapping the A button a bunch, and that's because I'm trying to go fast. Also means that we're going to be starting and stopping glides in midair because it's much faster than just holding the glide button in midair. Ooh, almost missed that crystal, and that would have not been good. So, coming up on the first main story area, we're also going to encounter the antagonists of the game for the first time, and these are the silent ones. So, like I said, the story of this game is all about interacting with the world around you through song. These silent ones can't sing. They make like a little chittering noise, which is super unsettling. And their main form of communication is like sign language and like changing the focal distance of the light coming out of their eyes. It's not analog to our world. Don't expect it to make sense. But because they don't have the ability to sing to interact with the world around them, they just end up kind of like capturing and using other life forms as an energy source, which is like real hecked up. That's why they're the bad guys. Now we're going to do a thing called the any percent jump, which I have to do a blind jump off of some polygons that do not line up with how they look. So we might be here for a little bit. So if you want to get in your AWOO donations, that would be fantastic. Well, never mind. I just did it.
You can still get in your AWOO donations, though.
Absolutely.
You can also give non-AWOO donations. Those are appreciated too.
Yeah, but they don't get me to say AWOO, so
That is true. That is no. I was gonna make a pun, but can't because no one. I'm not allowed to say that word without a donation.
oh, fair enough.
I love the way that Fia kind of like skitters up trees in this game.
Yeah, it's really aesthetically pleasing. The one thing is that it's a little annoying for speedruns because if I had a hand cam, you could see that I'm actually having to take my thumb off of the analog stick whenever I do it, because if I'm holding a direction when skittering up a tree, Fia will just kind of go flying off, because sometimes she doesn't want to stick to the tree. So the inputs in this game can be a little weird, and you just you get used to it.
Something that I think is really nice about this game is like it's one of those games that's just the perfect level of broken to be a really cool speed run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, uh, for example, in the any percent run, uh, it's just broken enough. Wait, quick pause for a friend. Friend, get. This little bird friend is gonna do some stuff later in the run. It's super gonna help us out. Uh, so, actually, let me talk about this friend really quick before I get back onto my tangent. So this is a baby bird. Each of the creatures in this game that we get the voices from, the songs from, have a baby form, an adult form, and a leader form, also known as a god form. Uh, this is the baby bird. There's an adult bird getting captured by those silent ones over there. Um, Baby birds will, or baby creatures in general, will help you activate the plant associated with that creature's voice until you get the voice yourself, because we haven't unlocked it yet, obviously. We unlock the voice by doing the main story quest to help out the leader of a species, and after that, we're able to interact with the adults of the species. So, because we never get a voice besides Fia's own voice, which you can hear here, um, that because of that, we can't interact with any of the adults, which means that the routing kind of has to find ways around things that we're supposed to be able to do, either with the adults or with the plants associated with the various voices. The only exception is the green plant voice, because we have our little bird friend. So super useful for the speed run in that regard, and very helpful in casual play because it kind of serves as a little guide when you get lost, because you can just woo for, oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that word yet. You just sing.
Actually, we do have
Uh,
some.
oh, we have some? All right.
We do
Let
have
me get
some. You
this
can
kind
finish.
of weird corner really quick. Come on, I believe in you, Fia. There we go. All right, just gotta make it up I should mention that the area that we're in right now, very much not intended to be here yet. We're not supposed to reach this area until post-game, but it has crystals, and that's all we care about. Let's hear some of those donations.
All right. Well, let's start with our awoos. We have $7 from Natara.
All right, 3, 2,
2,
1. Awoo!
And we have $7 from Garby the Glitchfriss. That's a hard name to say. I'm sorry, Garby.
Sorry, Garby. But thank you for your donation. All right, 3, 2, 1. Awoo!
Awoos for only $7? What a deal. Yes, it was. And then our non-Awoo donations side of things, which we still very much appreciate, just as much as Awoos. We have $25 from Crimson Helm. Thank you, Crimson Helm. And we have a $10 donation from Jebwrench that says "Go Team Evil Go," and a $1 donation also from Jebwrench that says "Also $1 for my precious baby Alphen." These are referring to the upcoming bid war for Octopath Traveler. So you can still sway that pretty easily. The fourth character is now Alphen at just $1. So if you want, if you're a big fan of Cyrus, that's just $2. So, yeah. Consider it for Cyrus.
All right. So now we're back into what area we're supposed to be in the story. Actually, I'm going to go slightly off route to be a little bit more marathon safe, because that sounds like a good idea. So we're back in the main story area where we're supposed to be helping out the birds so that we can get bird voice. But again, all we care about is crystals. And since we have the glide ability, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. We're not supposed to have the glide ability until we've collected the bird voice. So like right off the bat, we have crystals that are like more crystals than intended, which is allowing us to do way more than the game intends us to be able to do. Uh-oh. Come on, little buddy. There we go. These are the Lizzie boys, and they are my children, and I love them. So these Lizzie boys help with the purple plants. Hello? There we go.
So Lizzie Boys is the official name of this species.
Yes, actually. Zoink Games, the developers, actually did a Twitter poll to help name various creatures in the world. That's where the name Forest Keeper for the singing flowers comes from. Golden Orchid for the the orange flowers that we've just completely ignored in this run, and Lizzie Boys for the baby lizards.
Lizzie Boys is my favorite.
It's so good. So that's the only time that we actually use the baby bird voice. Wait, no, I've told a lie. With the route that we're going to be doing here, we're actually going to be doing that 2 more times. In a regular any percent speedrun, I wouldn't be doing one of these crystals, but I'm grabbing it just for marathon safety in case I mess up a trick later. So, like I said, we need 30 crystals. This route has the potential for 31, or 31 that I plan to get just in case I happen to miss one due to messing up a trick. Because as much as I love this game, the physics engine is not consistent, and sometimes you'll just get flung across the map. And so we grab a little bit extra, or at least we plan to grab a little bit extra to account for that.
Yeah, if you get a frame drop, you also get a FIA drop.
Oh yes. All right. Not supposed to be able to grab this crystal until we get the second to last voice in the game. I really should be pointing out how much we're breaking the game right now, because this map is relatively small, but it doubles back on itself a lot. A lot of crystals are hidden away in places that we're not supposed to be able to access until we collect new voices. In a way, that makes this game kind of Metroidvania-like, and I've seen like a Metroidvania alignment chart that puts Fia at chaotic neutral. I don't know what that means, but that's where they put it. And so, like, we're doubling back on this map a lot and just ignoring all of the things that say, hey, you're supposed to have X amount of voices to get this, because we can break the physics engine. Should also mention that I can't really check my crystals unless we're collecting a crystal, because it's actually going to pause us for a few seconds to show us how to use the map if I check my crystal count. But I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Do we have time for another Owu?
Oh, we absolutely do.
All right, this one was purchased by Silverfire, who's donating for those cute tiny dragon-like creatures. So all right, 3, 2, 1. Owu!
Awoo! Oh, you got an extra Fia Awoo in there with it?
You gotta pay for that.
There we go. Come on. There we go. Thank you, little bird friend. So now we've collected this crystal. And let's see. All right. So this is where we grabbed the extra crystal for this next trick coming up. Oh, we actually just skipped a little cutscene right there. So basically, there's this jump, and it's kind of tricky, and also kind of inconsistent, because the entire time we're just trying to break the game by jumping up a wall, and we may miss it. I get this about 40% of the time in PB attempts. And we did not get it there, unfortunately, but that's okay because there is one backup, and now we don't have a backup. But, like I said, that's why we collected extra crystals. So to save a little bit of time on the back end here, we can just grab one of these two crystals here. Because, like I said, that jump only happens about 40% of the time. I was going to donate a little bit extra money if I missed it, so now we get more money for Take This.
Yay, money for Take This. It's a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. But I will say that's the last time that I'm donating for messing things up in this run, so you should be wanting me to succeed.
Yeah, the next runner is the one that you can mess up by donating. That didn't quite make sense, but it's fine.
Alright, so we have 30 crystals now, which means that we're going to be actually grabbing 2 whole abilities. We're going to be grabbing the Sprint ability and the Air Dash ability, which is what really breaks the game wide open and allows us to even have this any percent category. And you will see that in just a moment. What is the full name of this game? Fia. That's F-E. It's a Swedish pronunciation. It is on Origin on PC, which is why a lot of people can't find it, because they're expecting it to be on Steam. But it's also on Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. Yeah, if you're looking for it online, you usually have to type in Fia Game, because everybody is looking for Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem, notoriously not a video game. It's a shame this game didn't get more attention. It's beautiful and it's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Alright, here's the Air Dash ability. We're about to go really fast. Don't blink. So, yeah. You can kind of already see how this breaks the game, right? If we have this before post-game, when they're not expecting us to have it. I should mention that if you know where every crystal is, you can get enough crystals to have air dash before the final area with entirely intended mechanics, which also seems like a bit of an oversight, because if you're like following a walkthrough, you can collect everything. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Made it up there by doing some grab spam. So this I'm actually going to need to focus for, because we're going to have to do 23 air dashes in a row with perfect timing. All right, and since I got that with perfect timing, I actually get to skip a lower level section, which I'm really excited about, because I haven't been able to get that with perfect timing, and I've been having to do backup for my last 5 practice runs. So I'm really glad that I was able to show it off correctly during this run. Yeah. So what makes that difficult is you saw those little white flashes every single time I fell. That's actually the indicator that you can start doing an air dash, and then you basically have to double tap the jump button in order to perform that air dash. But what I was actually having to do there is anticipate when the indicator was going to pop up and actually start doing the double tap so that it was finishing when that light came up. So I basically had to be counting it 23 times in a row, and if we had gotten a lag spike at any point during that, we would have had to do a backup, which wastes about 40 seconds. So I'm really happy that we got all that.
Like, I don't think it comes across, but that is difficult, especially when Corundum's doing it and just like breezing through it. Like, it's no big deal.
Well, I do try. But thank you, though.
Now you get to yell at birds.
Yep. So this is our friendly silent one that we affectionately name Robot. And Robot's going to help us make it through these big doors that we just saw. So normally we're supposed to be using the lizard voice a bunch to traverse this area, but we have air dash. Oh, woo, just barely made that jump. Jeez. So if we had bonked there and not been able to make it up there, that would have been a 20-second time loss, because we would have died and had to wait to respawn. So really glad that that didn't happen. Come on. I believe in you, Fia. There we go. Aw, man, we bonked there. It looks really clean whenever we get the dash into this area. Alright. So, we've got one more flower right here. We've got some shaky cam that we have to do some kind of difficult platforming on. There we go. That's always a little bit scary because you might fall there. One last air dash that we need to get. And we are home free for the most part. So this is supposed to be this like really difficult, or not necessarily difficult, but really cinematic climbing section of climbing this mountain with the help of one of the antagonists turned good, and we just kind of dash all over it with the any percent category. I definitely recommend that if you haven't played this game before, kind of go make a sandwich or grab some food, something for a few minutes, just because you're about to see some big ol' spoilers, and I would hate to spoil the end of this wonderful game for you, because it's a big ol' twist. So go get something to drink, call your loved ones or something, if you haven't seen this game before. See, if we were doing all songs or all abilities, I'd say definitely stay, because you would have seen the story, but we haven't seen any of it. It's not going to have the same emotional weight.
While we're waiting on this ledge, can I read a couple donations?
Absolutely.
Okay, we have $5 from Gotham. This goes to Taking Cyrus. You need his focus. It's unparalleled. And $5 from Vani. First donation has to be for everyone's favorite holy girl Ophelia for the Octopath Run, which makes our
All
fourth character tied at $5. So
Nice. All right, wait. Important story beat. Oh no. We can't make it over here because we don't have the ability to glide or air dash. What are we going to do? The silent ones were the adult foxes the whole time. So yeah, like we haven't seen enough of the story for that to have any kind of like impact during the any percent run. That's actually a pretty big revelation when you're doing a casual playthrough. And so the silent ones, they don't have the voice because they're technologically advanced and they've lost their connection with nature, but Fia still has her connection with nature, and so she gives her voice to the adult Fia, and it's so nice. It's so sweet. I love this game. Go play it. I think it's still. I know it was on sale on the Humble store for $10. I don't know if that sale is still going on, but if it's not, it's only $20 on Origin. I know that not everybody can afford that, but if that is a financially responsible decision for you, please consider it. This is a fantastic game, and the developers are really nice.
it's still on sale. I just checked. It's on sale for one more day.
Awesome. And now we're falling because we don't have the ability to glide or air dash, obviously. Actually, we're supposed to have the ability to glide in that section, so that's a little silly. All right, so this is actually going to be our first memory helmet of the game. This basically is like almost like a mind meld slash body cam, which is basically going to let us see what this adult Fia or what this adult fox sees.
So you've been picking these up throughout the entire game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't you notice?
Yeah, I mean, they're hidden all over the place. Like, you wouldn't have gone through the whole game without picking up even one.
Yeah, obviously. You know what this is. All right, and time is going to be coming up very soon. As soon as I lose control of this section. And time. Oh, wait, no, it didn't work. It was like a 32:21, I think.
Something like that. Good job.
Something like that. Awesome. Give me a second. I'll stop that timer. Oh, no. What's going on? Work,
Yeah.
please.
A 32-21-ish.
All right, cool. Live split decided to not work anymore.
That was a very
Uh,
good run.
yeah, that was a really solid run. So just to show, we actually don't have any of the other voices that we were supposed to collect, which means that we actually cannot start the credits, which is really interesting because normally, like the start of the credits is what you would consider to be the end of the game. But just because of an arbitrary thing that we decided at the beginning of this game's inception, is that, or of this speedrun's inception, is that because you're not required to actually start the credits to go on to the rest of the world, we wouldn't include them. So the any percent run is possible without collecting the bird voice, because of that decision that we made at the very beginning of the game. And so we've got a little bit of time. So if we want to see some cool stuff, we can maybe do that. But if not, I can just go ahead and throw it over to whichever run is next.
Why don't we take a look at some of this cool stuff?
All right.
We got some
Well,
time.
I done hecked up and died, so we're gonna get eaten by a big fish.
Thanks for showing us the big fish. That's what you wanted to show us, right? It wasn't an accident.
That's why, I mean, we did we got killed by a big fish off screen earlier on in the run for an intentional death, to do a death warp.
And that's
Um,
what that was too.
yeah, obviously. So now we just need to make our way back up to the top of the mountain. This is actually the backup route that we would have done if I didn't have those perfect inputs, which I'm still very excited about. By the way, my time was what, a 32:21?
A 32-21-ish.
Nice. That's actually a really solid time. World record is, I don't even remember anymore. I think it's a 28 something. But anything close to 30 is a really, really solid time. Actually, I think my PB right now is a 30:30 because my sub 30 PB was unrecorded. So that's a really good time. I actually got world record with that 30:30, and then we discovered like a minute and a half of time save immediately after, which is why the run is now down to a 28.
Mind if I read a quick donation while you're
Oh
going
yeah,
over the stuff?
absolutely. If we have any more AWOO donations, that would be great.
We do not, but if you want to get an AWOO donation, you only have till the end of this run. So, you should do that maybe, if, get your new text tone or whatever. But we do have a $5 donation from Bonnie Vaughn. Okay, well, here's another $5 for Ophelia. To anyone wanting to snipe my holy girl, to you I say, no, you will not. And I mean, I think, I'm not, and well, Ophelia did just clinch the, did just break that tie, and there is now, we now can see, that our 4 characters, if we were to start right this minute, would be Ulbrich, Tressa, Ophelia, and Hanit. You can try to beat those.
Yeah, totally.
Cyrus and Alvin already have a little money being put in them, so if you want to move up on those, you can. Snipe, snipe, snipe. Well, no one has donated for Primrose, and that makes me very sad.
Oh, man. I never actually finished Octopath Traveler, but the little bit that I did play, it's an excellent game, and Primrose was one of my favorite characters. Alright, let's actually open the map and have it... Oh, because we've beaten the game, I guess it decides that we know what we're doing. So we're going to make our way over to this kind of little archipelago, I guess, just to show that we can get off this island and get back to the rest of the game.
We got another AWOO donation.
Excellent. Is it for 350 or 7?
It's for 10, so maybe Fia can
Oh,
join in.
wow, yeah. Let's have Fia join in.
All right, thank you, he who is pale. All right, 3, 2, 1. AWOO!
AWOO!
Thank you.
So,
Fia.
normally what I would do at the end of a run is I would, oh yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks, friendo. I haven't seen that death before. So apparently there's a big old death plane. If you try and approach, oh, you know what? It's because I entered the lizard area and then left it. So here we go. Yeah, we got a little bit more time. I just want to show off another skip that has not actually made the all songs category faster, but there is the potential for it making it faster as we discover new skips, which is called Wolf Cave Skip. And it's really technical and it looks really cool, so I'd like to be able to show it off. By the way, this is Lizard God right there. Say hello. If we were doing the wrong order route, which is kind of like a just for fun route of the game that we sometimes run, you can actually have two models of Lizard God on screen at the same time, which is really cool.
Is he called Lizard God because Lizard God? That's a big lizard. That joke is not going to make any
That's
sense.
a deep cut. That's a deep cut joke right there.
Still has had some fun with the overlay while we're doing our last cool couple things.
Excellent. I can't see it, but thank you for having fun. So that was the baby deer. I should mention that, like, because we did the any percent jump, we skipped a really sad cutscene where the baby deer gets captured by the silent ones. But we don't have to worry about that because we didn't see the baby deer get captured by the silent ones. So there's no need for me to free the baby deer at the end of the run like what I normally do at the end of marathons. Oh. Oh. There we go. Just ignore that physics for a second. All right, and we're going to do what I mentioned before, which is the Wolf Cave skip. So, we haven't actually gone out of bounds yet in this run. So let me show you how that works, because it's actually super interesting the way that we do it. Basically, they're really good at wall detection and making sure that you can't clip out of bounds when going too fast. But what they didn't account for are some trees where the tree's hitbox actually extends past the ceiling of the game. And there's a couple trees where that happens, but there's only one tree that we've actually found that's useful, which is right over here. I'm going to do a super complicated set of inputs right here, and hopefully I get it first try. Let's see. Ooh, not even close. All right. So we're basically having to do a thing called a sidewind, which air dash mechanics are really weird. Let's see. Oh, almost. Basically, you can gain a little bit of extra height when you move sideways during an air dash rather than moving straight ahead, but it also slows you down. So a sidewind is basically designed to get you both of those. It's looking like we can't get the really nice fast setup, so I'll go for the slightly slower setup just so that we can see this trick, because we've still got time. We are going to be able to finish this within the 45-minute estimate, I assure you.
Oh. Mind if I read one more donation while you're setting up?
Absolutely.
We have $5 from Dragon Lord. I like dancers in RPGs. Let's put a little to help Primrose make it into the party. So with that, Primrose has not made it into the party yet, but you now only need to donate half as much to get Primrose in.
Let's actually watch this cutscene. Oh, so there's supposed to be a cutscene here, but the other little baby fox left for some reason. Wild. All right, So, unfortunately, we weren't able to show off the really cool jump. I think that's because we're still kind of in the shaky setting of a cutscene that we activated earlier. So that's messing with our height a little bit on jumps. But now we're just running on the skybox, or running on the ceiling rather.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah, no.
As you do. You ever just feel like running on the ceiling?
I mean, every day of my life. Isn't that a song? I feel like running on a ceiling is a like early 2000s rock ballad lyric.
All my brain did when you said that was take the lyrics of living on a prayer and replace them with running on a ceiling.
Gotcha. I mean, I suppose you could say that I'm walking on sunshine. I was looking for the sun, but there's not actually one in the skybox. All right. So here we're getting to the part where we skip Wolf Cave. Basically, if you've played this game before, there's this giant silent barrier in the Wolf Cave that you have to do a really annoying like super RNG heavy section, which makes the all songs category a little bit not fun. And so now we're just gonna skip it. You just gotta run over here, up to here. We're gonna drop down here and do a bunch more of the air dashes. Oh. Come on, I believe in you. Come on, Fiat. Oh. And yeah, we are through.
Whoa.
But unfortunately, we don't have the lizard voice right now, so we actually can't get any further. But yeah, that is Wolf Cave Skip, and now we are actually over estimate. So I'll go ahead and relinquish control over the stream. Thank you so much, everybody. You'll see me again at 3 a.m. Eastern on Friday when I do Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle Buddy Dome with Casual Trash. I'll see y'all then.
Thanks for joining us. And to close us out, we did get a $5 anonymous donation. There's no comment, but I figure to close up the run, you can do a woo, and I'll do a half a woo for $5.
All right, sounds like a plan. 3,
All right.
2, 1. Oh,
Ow.
boo! See ya.
Bye.